Hi guys, welcome back. So you could probably guess what kind of tutorial that I'm doing today just by this makeup right here. I'm doing like a really nice, flawless, summery, glowy makeup look. Surprise, surprise. I'm also dipping back into my Jaclyn Morphe palette because I haven't been able to put it down, and I wanted to dip into the really warm and goldy shades. I did really kind of flawless, long-lasting skin, but obviously I wanted to keep it really glowy, and I am someone with oily skin, so I wanted to show you guys how if you do have oily skin you can make sure that even in the summertime you look super flawless. The oil isn't coming through, but you're still able to get the really glowy look. So if you want to see how I got this, then make sure to just keep watching. So to start off, we've obviously got to prime our skin, and since I'm going to go for like a summery kind of glowy skin look, I'm going to start off with a Radiance primer. This is my favourite one, it's from Mercier. It just has like tiny little reflex, and it's a kind of goldy colour, if I just swatch it for you real quick. And it's so hydrating as well, and just gives a nice little sheen, like nothing too glittery because I really don't like any primers with glitter in, but I do keep this just in the high points of my face because anything obviously with a sheen or glitter is going to really accentuate pores. That's why obviously if you have problematic areas like here, that's why you don't put like highlight and glittery products, just because it will accentuate that. So I keep this in the outer perimeter of my face, down the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and a bit on, I just dab a little bit on the chin as well. And then if you want to, you can go in with like another smoothing primer or something if you have like other problematic areas. But I don't know, I'm going to leave it for today because the foundation that I'm going to use is going to help kind of smooth out my skin anyway. And in the summer, I don't know, I don't like to use too many primers or just too much product on my skin because when it is warm, it just feels really heavy and uncomfortable. So next, I'm just going to mix two foundations, and the foundation I'm going to use is my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I always go in with like a matte foundation during summertime because I have really oily skin, and to be honest, this is one of the only foundations where my oils don't come through during the day. I'm going to mix two different colours because I fake tanned and I'm not quite as dark as I was last summer, unfortunately. So I'm just going to mix the shade 110 and 120. And just lightly pouncing that into the skin. And the great thing about this foundation as well is you don't really need to set it. I mean, I do just because I'm particularly oily, but if you're only a little bit oily, you really don't need to set it with any powder because it dries itself and then it just won't move all day. For now, I'm just going to cream contour while it is still a little bit wet. And I'm just going to take my NYX Wonder Stick. Obviously I really like this product because look how much I've used. And I'm just going to use that to do a little bit of cream contour. This isn't a very ashy colour because I kind of want a more bronzy contour like during summertime rather than quite a harsh one. So I'm just going to take this, put that in all the areas where I want to bronze myself up a little bit. Oh, a trick I've seen as well recently is contouring like underneath and over your lips to really make your lips look bigger. So I'm going to try it out and we'll see if it works. So now that I placed that down, I'm just going to take a little duo fibre brush and blend all of that out. And for my nose contour, I'm just going to take this little mini beauty blender and use that to just pounce it out so that we keep the product in the same area. I don't like a super contoured nose, I just like to kind of bronze it a little bit, just to slim it down a little bit. So to prime my lids before using any eyeshadows, I'm just going to take my True Match concealer and just use a little bit of this. So now I'm just going to set my lids with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm just going to do a light dusting. Okay, I'm probably going to bore you guys with the amount of times I use this palette, but I'm going to be going in with my Jaclyn Morphe palette again, but this time I'm going to take the kind of warmer shades, the kind of goldy shades, I don't know. We're going to go in with something really warm and nothing too heavy again. I want it to be really soft and light because that's just the kind of looks that I like to wear in summertime. But Silk Cream, this shade right here, is kind of my go-to transition shade within this palette, so I'm obviously going to start off with that and just run that in the crease with a big fluffy brush. Next I'm just going to take this shade Butter. It's a kind of deeper, it kind of reminds me of a burnt orange from Anastasia. So I'm just going to take that to deepen up the crease a little bit, because you guys know I just always like to kind of build on the shades in my crease, just because I think it gives it a bit more depth and makes it look a little cuter, you know? Cuter. And I'm just taking this 228 Luxe Crease Brush from Zoeva to do that. Now going back to my big fluffy crease brush, I'm actually just going to take a little bit of this Creamsicle shade, which is a kind of orangey yellow shade. I don't know, it's just kind of speaking to me and I want to add that in as well. And just run that into the crease between the other two shades that we've just used. Just to go right in the kind of hollow of my crease, I'm just going to take this darker brown shade called Mocha. And I'm just going to run that in again with my Zoeva 228. Taking a really small amount, I'm just angling my brush upwards like this just to make sure I keep it in the lower part of the crease. Now it's time to go in with my lid shade, and I'm going to take a mixture of Obsessed and Queen, because I really want to use like a gold, but this is quite a kind of deep darker gold, and since we're going for kind of a light summery look, I just want to lighten it up a little bit, and these two mixed together makes a really nice lighter golden shade. I'm going to wet my brush with a bit of Fix Plus. I'm just using my MAC 242, I believe this is, and pop that onto the lid. Then picking up some of that Obsessed shade, I'm just going to go right on top, keeping this more to the centre. I have just picked up a little bit more of that Obsessed shade, and that is what I'm going to use for my inner corner highlight. I just love this palette so much. Oh, I think this is going to be my go-to like on holiday and stuff, because you can create so many different looks with it, and it's like it's pretty lightweight as well. It's good. I'm just going to prep my lashes real quick using my Tarte eyelash curlers and then some mascara. I'll probably just go with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and then I'll be right back. Now of course it looks great with mascara and you could just leave it there. If I was wearing this on holiday I probably just would leave it here and wouldn't wear lashes, but for the sake of the tutorial I'm going to use some anyway. But I did want to keep them fairly natural, so the ones I'm going to use are the new Iconic London lashes, and I absolutely love these. They're really wispy, but they have quite a nice thick band, so it kind of looks like you're wearing eyeliner and just really like frames the face, but the lashes aren't too much, they're not too long, they're just right. So as you can see, they just give a little bit of something, like they're all kind of in different directions and different lengths, so it does look way more natural than other lashes that I have. And like the packaging for these lashes is so pretty as well. It's just like white with like rose gold. Oh, it's just so pretty. So now that we've got the top half of our eyes already done, I'm going to move on to the rest of my face. And I'm obviously going to start off with concealer. And I just recently picked up a new Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is one of my all-time favourites. To be honest, my favourite concealers are drugstore ones. So I'm just going to take this and do a little V shape underneath the eye, highlighting the chin, Cupid's bow, down the nose and the forehead. And just to brighten up even more, I'm going to add a little bit of my Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer as well, just because this is a little bit on the brighter side but not as full coverage. I'm going to very quickly set all of that using my RCMA translucent powder. This just stops your skin getting oily and stops the product from moving around, especially if you're going to be sweating. I always like to kind of push the powder into the skin so that you don't move around any of the concealer we just blended out. Lightly take some of that translucent powder and also set the rest of my face because I don't feel like I need any extra coverage. So just set all of the other creams. One thing I'm going to do though is just take the two lighter shades from my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette just to brighten up my under eyes a little bit more. So I'm just going to buff that underneath. So I'm just going to take my favourite Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer from Too Faced. This smells incredible. And I'm just going to go over the cream contour. Then switching to a small little fluffy brush. I'm just going to very, very lightly, taking a little amount of product, go down the sides of my nose. And then going underneath my lip, and then just a little bit on top. Because I want this look to be really nice and glowy, I'm just going to take a little bit of my Highlight 01 Radiance powder from Mercier. This is a really, really kind of finely milled baked highlighter, and it's not very glittery, it's not super pigmented, it's a bit more sheer, but I really like it for a kind of all over glowy look. So I'm first just gonna, this is just on a fluffy brush as well, I take this almost all over my face on the high points. This just gives a nice all over glow. I think now would be a good time to finish off the eyes. I'm first going to take a little bit of the Mocha shade and put that really close to the lash line with a little angled brush. I'm taking a kind of fluffy pencil brush. I'm going to pick up a mixture of creamsicle and butter. Then going into our first transition colour called Silk Cream and a small fluffy brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that and just buff all of that together underneath. Now moving on to the kind of more intense highlighter, I'm going to take my absolute favourite for summer, and this is Champagne Pop by Becca. It's obviously the other collaboration that Jaclyn Hill did, but I mean, you can see I've hit pan on this. It's my absolute favourite highlighter of all time. It's a really nice champagne, obviously it clues in the name, champagne highlighting shade, and it's ridiculously pigmented, like ridiculous. I'm just going to use a really tiny fan brush for this. This is a Real Techniques fan brush. I mean, it's a joke. I'm using my finger on my nose. I might just pop a little bit of this in the inner corner as well, just because why not? Just love this shade so much. The blush that I just cannot put down at the moment is the Benefit California blush. It's the nice coral shade, and when you first get it, you can see there's like little reflex of gold like right on the top. Obviously once you dip into it, that kind of goes, but oh, it also smells like holiday. So this would definitely be the one that I'll be taking on holiday. And just using my sheer blush brush from Bobbi Brown, I'm just going to pop that on the apples of my cheeks and kind of take it up as well. Okay, so we are nearly done. All I've got left to do is my lips. Now, I don't know about you, but on holiday I'm either like nude or glossy, and that's basically it. So I think I'm just going to do a combination of the two today. I am first going to line my lips. I'm going to go for Spice from MAC. And I'm just going to very lightly line my lips. Another trick for making your lips look fuller is shading your lip liner on the outer corner, because it just kind of makes it look more pouty, you know. I'm feeling like it might be a peach stock moment because we've got the kind of yellows and oranges. Just to quickly finish off the lips, I'm going to do like an Amrezy moment where sometimes she puts highlighter like on her lipstick and it just looks so good, but it kind of looks, it has a sheen without being glossy obviously. So I'm going to take a bit of the Champagne Pop and pop that just in the centre. Oh, that looks really nice. And this obviously looks really summery, so when like the sun hits your lips, oh, it's gonna look so good. And then last but not least, obviously when you're out in the sun all day or in the heat, you really need your makeup to stay in place. So I'm just gonna take some Fix Plus, but obviously you can use any setting spray that you like and just spray plenty. This would actually be really cool to keep in your bag with you as well, so like during the day when you're getting really hot or whatever, you can just have a little spritz and it'll cool you down. So this is the final look, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. This is, to be honest, my absolute favourite kind of makeup to wear, especially during summertime. I love golds and warm tones and nude lips and gold highlighters, and I mean, who doesn't? This is just, oh, so good. And I promise you, if you do the steps and use the kind of products that I used, like a kind of matte foundation and a glowy primer, all of these steps, then you will actually stay matte if you have oily skin like me, but you will still look really glowy. So yeah, if you did enjoy the tutorial, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All of my social media stuff is in the bottom bar below, along with all of the products that I used today, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!